Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today for another reading on the meat packing plants this time. I'm really concerned about it. I don't know if all of you have meat packing plants in your state that are becoming hotspots, but in Minnesota they do. In Nobles County, they went from, it seemed like one day they had 10 cases to a few days later they had 900. It's ridiculous. So this is a serious health issue. And of course, Trump invoked the Defense Production Act. He can do that for this because we absolutely need meat apparently, but he cannot do it for PPE. It's just the man's priorities. I'm very concerned about the workers that now have to decide if they will go in and risk their lives and the lives of family members or quit and then being ineligible for unemployment. So I do want to read on this particular issue also about food supply chains. People are concerned about that, especially after Tyson came out and said the supply chain's going to be disrupted. Of course, there was a political agenda to that too, because they were saying, hey, government, do something about this, help us out, or else there will be supply chain issues. And then the Defense Production Act was invoked. So they got their help. And I don't want to say Tyson's the only ones. I mean, there are all kinds of meat packing plants and companies. Well, Spirit, tell us about this. What should we know about this situation and how it may play out? We have the Page of Wands in the root of the mat, in the heart of the situation. We have the Chariot, of course, as the challenge. We're seeing the Chariot everywhere with this pandemic. So the Page of Wands is about, it's just the next step. It's just, okay, so what I'm hearing is this is going to be a long and varied path. I mean, this path will wend this way and that way. This isn't the end of the story. This is not the end of the story. So in fact, we may have a new announcement soon. It may not come from the White House. It may be, okay, this has got to be stopped and there may be an answer to this decision, this decision that is like, no, you can't. So I don't know. I'd imagine the American Civil Liberties Union is on this. I would imagine there are efforts in the courts, I suppose, to stick up for the workers. We have the Empress at the root of underneath it all, subconscious. So Spirit is definitely wanting to bring about a change here, a new beginning coming in for workers' rights. Definitely, most definitely. So this is one of those situations that I've seen coming up for a while. One of those situations where it becomes obvious to labor that they have to get more involved, they have to organize, they have to fight. So in the end, that turns out to be a good thing. But right now, we don't have the new beginning yet. We have the potential for the new beginning. The past is the King of Wands, right? And that's sort of leadership behind them. Behind them is leadership that is usually these are Democrats lately. These are the rising political leadership that's more about progressive ideals. So they do have legislative backing. That's different now than it's been. So that's why we're pregnant with a new possibility here for labor being better represented and American workers' rights being ascending. The Judgment card above in the nation's consciousness. So there is a lot of judgment falling about this. This is ridiculous. Meat is not, I mean, as much as people are reliant on meat as part of their daily diet, and especially in the US, we eat too much meat. It's not necessary. We can do without it. It's all right, So I think there's a lot of judgment for this. And the paid, I know there's a lot of businesses who depend upon that, and I don't want to diminish the importance. I mean, the farmers are really suffering with this. I don't want to diminish the importance of that. And there are a lot of jobs in this, but the Defense Production Act for this, that's the big question. Can nothing else be done to help? So we have the Page of Cups in the immediate future. A little bit of good news for them. Okay, so yeah, we are going to hear something about organizers, people organizing and striking and not going in those plants. Okay, we are going to hear about that. At the root of the matter is the Queen of Wands. There we go. We have female and male democratic leadership here, helping, standing up. Why did I just hear Katie Porter? She's going to have something to say about this. Okay, this is one of those things that it's painful. And the burden is falling inordinately upon those who can afford it least, but they will bring about change. We have the Six of Coins. So we need to support, by the way, we need to support our unions, not cross picket lines, guys. If we can help it, we need to support our unions. Now, unions unfortunately, there'd been some trouble with corruption in some unions too, but unions are going to be a different thing than they were. The new unions are going to be different. So we have to follow these headlines closely and make sure we're supporting the workers. The Six of Coins in the home environment. Yeah, okay, there will be a little bit of help. There will be charitable giving. There will be people coming forth, progressives that organize for money for meatpacking workers and their families. All right, just a little bit, not a lot. And then we have the Fool, but it becomes a bit of a rallying cry. And then we have the Fool card, which is in the hopes and fears. We hope for a new beginning here, yes. And Spirit is trying to bring that about. And then we have the Page of Coins. A little bit of new security coming in with this. That's interesting. So, the Page of Coins. I wonder about that. It's almost like new unemployment benefits or new benefits for these workers if they don't go to work, So that's good. There will be something coming in to help protect them. But we're going to have, of course, the Ten of Swords. This is pretty devastating. Yes, we have people sick. We have people feeling like they can't take it anymore. Feeling like, okay, that's enough. I can't go to work. That's enough. This is cost too much, or it will cost too much. Then we have the Justice card. The legal system is indeed going to get involved here. Yeah, Tyson and those companies believe they are protected from lawsuit now because of the National Defense Act. I don't think they are as protected as they think, personally. So there will be a lot going on in the courts. Interesting. All right, now I did say we'd ask about supply chain issues, because even though we don't absolutely need meat as human beings, and many people are vegetarian or getting closer and closer to it, vegan, many Americans already are eating less meat just because it's good for us to eat protein, not so much good for us to have that all coming from animal products. Not good for us. So, Spirit, what happens with the supply chain, though? Because many people do eat meat and feel that it's important. Milk, eggs, things like that, Many people do, and there are a lot of jobs dependent upon this. So what does happen with the supply chain, Spirit? Well, it's foggy right now. 7. Oh, but that also means that illusion is being peddled as well. In what direction, Spirit? In what direction is the illusion peddled? To say there will be, or is that the illusion? 6 of coins. I think the illusion is there's no other way to take care of these businesses and these employees other than ordering everything back up and running. That's what the illusion is that's peddled. There are other ways. There are subsidies. There are other ways to take care of them. But in our government, a lot of those really big dollars are going to really big business, not to people. So I think that's the illusion that's peddled with this. Oh, the Lover's card reversed. People in bed with each other. Okay, so that is those cozy relationships, sometimes between big businesses and politicians, but it's reversed. It's not functioning so perfectly anymore. That's a good thing. And we do have the 10 of Cups. We do have big business trying to intervene with politics, the family. Those politicians who gladly accept large donations and will make concessions. What I'm seeing is a mixed bag then. Because there are some concessions made to big business and there is this focus on let's get everything up and running again, I don't think the supply chains are that disrupted. There is some disruption, yes, but it's sort of like you can't get this product, you can't get that product, but you could get this one and this one. It's more like that. But there is some change coming in. Well, not right now, but there will be change coming in, I think. That is more significant later because it's beginning. And that doesn't really disrupt supply chains, does it, Spirit? Not really. Things may become more expensive. I'm talking longer term here. It feels like things, meat products, animal products may become more expensive than they are, but not anytime soon. In fact, there will be a period of deflation, I think, for some products. But eventually, yeah. Eventually we may be eating less meat, less animal products, and that's the way things are going already anyway. People are trying to be more cognizant of what's good for the earth. And, there's a lot of research out there about how animal products are so resource wasteful because they require so much energy to produce, whereas, the energy it takes to produce the legumes is nothing, is so much less than it takes to produce the meat. So, yeah, there's something interesting. So there's also, though, a sense of the Knight of Cups, a sense of this is a welcome change. So I wouldn't worry about it. I think supply chains, yes, there will be some disruptions here and there. Yes, there will. Like you can't get this meat as easy. You can't get that one as easy. But what happens is I think people do move further along the line people are already moving, which is more toward plant-based protein sources. And I'm not talking it's sudden, nothing sudden here. I'm talking gradual. So it's sort of like it's okay. I don't think meat prices even eventually, though, after this change go through the roof or anything. It's more like because they can't, because they're also less in demand eventually. Like when they come back in full force and all the shelves are restocked fully and all of that stuff all the time. Surprise, surprise, there's less demand for it. So maybe that's where I see deflation at first. Anyway, it feels like a welcome change. It doesn't feel bad. And the Four of Coins, it doesn't jeopardize our economy. It's a gradual shift, I think. So interesting. Okay. Well, we don't mind gradual. We like gradual. Okay. people are also becoming more health conscious when something like this goes around, and pre-existing conditions are a liability. So we're gradually changing. That's what I'm seeing here. But for the workers, I think we can expect some announcements soon. This story is not over for them. This story is not over. This is going to be a story of, over time, them gaining more power. But in the immediate future, we're going to hear a lot of sad stories. But that's going to foment motivation for change and demands for change. So that's okay. But none of this violent, none of this, this is just going to progress in the way that it's supposed to, but it's going to be quite a winding path with some pretty crazy stories along the way. All right. All right. Well, Spirit, I thank you. And we do ask for your help and protection and love for all of those families. Bye-bye. And all of yours, too. Bye-bye.